Oh, yeah. All right, we're live. As soon as you can see I don't have a chalkboard behind me. That got used this weekend. Wow, we already got 3,000 people in. Oh, that's hay. All right. Welcome. I'm a little disorganized. I'm just coming in, and I stepped into this area here, our studio, and it is hot. It is hot in here. So I went and got a fan. Is that fan ruining the audio? Somebody give me a heads up or a heads down. Keith, you're here. Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me okay? You guys hear me all right? I can hear you, the fan, but you're doing good. I can hear the fan, but you're doing good. Okay, as long as you can hear me all right. If need be, I'll shut that fan off because I can operate in any climate. You kidding me? All right, so let's see. What is the date today? Let's start right there for posterity. July 15th, 2025. Jamie, I don't know what's going on with Keith's wife, but can you heal her? Please do. Amen. That's a prayer for God. Yeah, Jamie's struggling. She had a abdominal infection. She's been in hospital for almost a week. I did talk to Keith yesterday, and she's doing better. She's not in pain. So if you guys could offer up a prayer for her, for her healing, that would be great. I'd appreciate that. She's a nice lady. Been friends for a long time. Yeah. It's a rough go. Excuse me, I'm going to blow my nose. All right, so around the farm, I got to tell you what's going on here. We had Tribe Day this weekend, and it was about the same number of people, but that doesn't really matter. It was just to give you an idea, there was 38 adults and 39 children registered. So it was a nice crowd. There's a bunch of different ways I can look at this, just a whole bunch of different ways. First of all, from sort of a facilities point of view, this year we had a really nice functioning kitchen, really nice. We had the counters in, we had a good sink, we had a gas range, propane, and then we had the dishwasher over in the milk house. Eventually there'll be a dishwasher in this building too. But it was really nice to see that set up. And I don't want to miss the personnel. My daughter Rachel came and helped. She was kind of the lead, I guess. And then our hired guy Brian helped. We just found out not too long ago that he's a trained chef. So I guess he was a line cook for quite a long time. And if you know anything about the restaurant business, those guys have to be just soldiers in big restaurants. They are just going all day long. And when we first saw him in the kitchen, the way he moved, it was like, oh, that's really where he belongs. I mean, he just really knows what to do. He makes us lunch on Wednesdays and Fridays on our chicken processing days. And it has changed things because prior to him working with us, somebody would have to break off from chicken processing to come and make lunch. And so it was sort of a balancing act. And we're not trained chefs. Jill and the girls are not trained chefs. but they do a good job. But we're having to break them off from chicken processing. So we want them to get back down there as quickly as possible. And then after we have lunch, all the dishes just get put back in the kitchen up here. And then when you're done chicken processing for the day, it's 7 o'clock at night. Then you come up to the house to relax, and it's like, oh, there's the dishes from lunch. And we have a pretty good sized crew, so it's a lot of dishes and not good in the summertime, just not good. So this was a way of meeting several needs here. But anyway, to see those two people run the shop, run the kitchen, and meet the needs of the people that were here as far as burgers, fries, and bacon and eggs in the morning. I mean, they did a bang up job. I ate every meal, and normally I don't, but it was so good. The smells coming out of there were so good. I think the first night we had brisket, and it was just phenomenal. I mean, this kid really knows what he's doing. And then at the end of the shift, I would kind of look in there, and it's like everything was put away, and it's kind of a narrow building, so it's a perfect kitchen, and because you don't want to waste steps in a kitchen, I guess. And when I looked down into it, it looked like looking into a galley of a ship, and everything was where it was supposed to go, ready for the next shift. Everything cleaned off, counters wiped down, rags hung up. It just was really a sight to see. And I was very proud of the job that they did. And of course, we have our the children that love to help in the cafe. I mean, they sign up to help, and they take the orders, and then they bring the food out to the people that are sitting in the lounging area, which is the campfire area. It was really nice. It was really, really nice. But from a facilities point of view, we've just upped our game. We have just upped our game. So personnel, you can take them and you can plug them in, take them out. They come and go. But from the facilities point of view, I was really happy with the way that worked. Now, from a point of view of people having a nice place to be for Tribe Day, we also upped that game because they were able to get good quality food, hot, just really nice. It was just really, really good. So I think we upped the game for the people that came and participated in Tribe Day. Tribe Day is just a day where we open up the farm for the weekend. People show up generally after afternoon on Friday, set up their camping areas if they're going to camp over. And then we have campfire on Friday night, which I stayed up way too late. And then Saturday we have the speakers line up. This year we had all kinds of things. I wasn't able to go to any of them. I tried, but I got called away. And so I finally just said, no, let me just do what I'm supposed to do. But it was very good. We had some really high quality speakers that I think that the participants left here knowing more than when they came, and that's the goal. We want to always be learning, right? Okay. I just remembered what I'm going to talk about tonight. I just remembered. We had the title, but I couldn't remember what it was about. And it just came to me, right? You came for that. That's what you're going to get. So we had nice weather. That wasn't in our control. It was warm. We had a cloud cover a couple of days for part of the day, and that was nice. So that takes a lot of the heat out. The pool was up and running. Kids had a great time. There were no injuries to speak of. Nothing serious. I don't think anybody went to the hospital or got stitched or anything like that. Yeah, and for me, this was the best Tribe Day that we've had for me. And I kept analyzing that through the whole time and saying, are things different? or is it me? And I really think it was just me. I have learned to let go a lot more. I have probably the most experienced crew that I've ever had, and it's not just my family, but it's my hired man, my daughter. But my boys are my last two kids in the house. They're 14 and 16. And in the days leading up to Tribe Day, we had a list of things that need to get done. They just did it. They just did it. And I remember saying to them a couple of times, well, here's the list. But if it doesn't get done, oh, well, it doesn't get done. And we did what we could, as well as, getting the hay in and getting the cows milked and all the animals taken care of and everything. We still have the farm to run. And, we got to a place where we were ready to have people come on. And for me, I want things cleaned up. I don't want any equipment hanging around that some kid could run into and get laid open on. And I don't want messes laying around, things like that. It just makes me feel good. I like things organized. We've got to get organized. So, I just kind of let go and enjoyed the people that came. There has been times, I will tell you, when we're doing things like Homestead Hog Harvest or any of the other things that we do, when I get a little stressed out when people show up early and say to me, can I help with something? And I'm in the middle of something, right? But this time I was prepared for that. And, we had people show up a little early. Hey, can we help? And I was like, yeah, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And I have one really interesting story to tell. So many of you know Justin Zilka. Is he on here? I haven't looked to see who's on it. Many of you know Justin. If you've met Justin, you never forget Justin. I will tell you that. Very interesting guy. Very unique individual for a lot of reasons. Excuse me. Just water. Just Baker's Green Acres water. But he showed up, and I was in the midst of, I had just stacked up a bunch of hay. This is Thursday, the day before. And I wanted to get it tarped down. And he did, can I help you? And for some reason, I just said, yeah, I'm getting ready to tarp this down. And I had all the stakes ready. I had the tarp up there ready to go. And me and him walked out there and we tarped it. And it normally would have been stressful to me, but this time it wasn't. It was like, guys just helping me do something. And we talked. We had a nice time. And then they went back to their campsite. We went, everything kind of ended for the day. We got the campfire going Friday night. And he said to me, you need any help with anything tomorrow? And I said, yeah. I installed a water heater in the apartment. And for some reason, it's not coming on. We got it all wired and everything, but it's not coming. Justin's an electrician, among other things. But he's a top-notch electrician, right? And I said, it's probably the breaker. Sometimes they just come from the store bad. But if you go over there with a meter, you'll figure it out. And so he goes over there, and he's there for a little while, and he comes back, and he says, it's not the meter. You didn't run the correct cable to it. And I said, oh. And then I was involved with all kinds of things. I was tracking a bunch of targets. And I said, whatever you got to do, right? And he's like, well, too bad I couldn't run home because I got that cable laying around. But so I remember seeing him at the picnic table looking on his phone and doing a bunch of research. And then he says, hey, I'm going to go get that cable. I'll be right back. Okay. So he took off, came back, grabbed a couple of the boys, Frank and Will, the cleric, and said, come with me. And he had them stringing the cable up in there. He put in 2 new breakers and got the water running. So he comes back over and he says, yeah, we got it. Thumbs up. Good. And, that's one of the things on my long list of things that needs to be done this summer, because we would like to rent out or Airbnb the apartment in this coming fall, and to have that just done by an electrician, and now it's working 100%, was just a real gift to me. It really was. And I thanked them. I don't know if I thanked them enough, and it was really nice to see his family here. I've watched them grow. By the way, this is the 5th year that we've had Homestead Tribe Day. It's the 5th year. We weren't sure. But yeah, that's just a little story. Then, some of the regular crew showed up, and a lot of these people have met in the summer here on Tribe Day, and then they get to come back together. Their families get to come back together, and, a lot of them have kids, and they're writing letters to each other, pen pal type thing. And like Sean Kelly brought his family, and they're out in Texas, and they come all the way from Texas for Tribe Day. Just really nice. They visit his folks too. Well, he's here. It's not just Tribe Day, but really nice. Good to see them. It was good to see everybody. We had a couple of new people come. And I hope that I said to them, I hope you come back. They're just really nice people. And, it's a welcoming thing. It's not a private club or anything. We don't vet anybody or anything like that. People come. If they fit in with the crowd, they do. If they don't, I guess they don't come back. We did have somebody pull in, and this was kind of odd to me, and I almost feel like, did I say something? They pulled in with their camper, and I wheeled over there to tell them, this would be a good place, or this would be a good place. And then Justin was over there saying, oh, you're going to want to pull over here, and there's a hose place to pick up here. And then I was doing something else, and I saw them going down the road. And they had kids. It was a man and woman and kids. And I talked to them briefly, and I said, do I know you guys? And they said, well, no, we've never met, but we've followed you for a long time and always wanted to come to Tribe Day. So here we are. And I was like, yeah, right on. Good. I'm glad you're here. But then they split and they didn't come back. We don't know what the deal was. So I'm going to find out their contact info and reach out and make sure everything was okay. I hope it was. That was a little different. So everything was pretty well standard. The food, the speakers, the time around the campfire, just hanging out. We had planned to have a skills share day on Sunday, but I tell you what, everybody just congregated at the campfire. Sunday morning, we had breakfast, then we start drinking coffee, and then the kids went in the pool. A lot of people had cleared out, that were only here for Saturday. So it was a small group again, and we didn't really do much for skills sharing. We just kind of hung around together, and it was really nice. It was just really, really nice time, really good time. I had many conversations, I must say, many conversations, but there's a couple that stuck out, and that's where the title for this was, Maintaining Your Power on the Homestead. And I talked with a guy by the name of J.D. Flood. He came a little late because his wife had just had a baby, but his children were psyched the whole year to come. And so he left his wife and brand new baby home, brought the kids up and camped out one night. And we got in a kind of interesting conversation. And he said that there are 3 things that Tribe Day encompasses. And one of them was relationships, education, skills. What was the third one? Anybody else know? Gabe, you weren't there. You should have been. Brian, you weren't there by then. Brian was there. I can't remember what it was, but the first two, we saw real time how important it is for people to come together. Because I mean, this, the age of information, it's like we're all focused on something, some like the national struggle maybe that's going on. We're all focused on that. Like they try to get us to be focused on it, or it goes out through the news, and a lot of people are interested in it. And you kind of realize that, none of that really has much to do with what we were doing. You know, the if somebody else was president, let's say, the bacon and eggs were still good. Like they wouldn't be any different. Nothing really changed in our world and the conversations that we had. Most of the people that are here are entrepreneurial, so they're either running a farm business or pursuing a farm business, pursuing a homestead lifestyle or a farm lifestyle, something like that. I think mostly everybody had families. I think it was mostly families. There was a few people that came without kids, but it was mostly families. So everyone was somewhat interested in that. And when we all came together, there was a lot of, stimulating conversation and support for what we're all about, what our life is. So there was a tremendous amount of power in that. And people could be immersed in that and then take it with them and then make that happen in their little world. They come to my little world and then they go out and they make that happen in their little world. And of all the times that we've done this, I kind of felt like, yeah, we fulfilled that. We made that available. Seemed like my job this time was not about anything in the kitchen, and I didn't do anything. Once everything was hitched up, I kind of walked away. I didn't have the big barbecue going. One year I was in charge of barbecuing the pig, and it actually caught fire because I got interrupted to go do something else. So I pretty much hung around, mostly had a cup of coffee in my hand, gave Jeep rides to the kids, did a hay ride the end of the day on Saturday, and then just talked with people, explained stuff, how we do things, why we do it that way, and offered what I could to people who are pursuing the environment that they were immersed in, right? So if you come to this farm, it's not like, well, we're gonna do this. It's we are doing it. There are things on our horizon that we're planning to do that we're not doing, but those will come. But it's not like, yeah, one of these days we're going to do this. It's like we're doing it now. And to me, when I go someplace where they're actually doing the thing, I get energized by that, and I say, oh, that's how they did it. I can see it real time, and then I can go home and I can like duplicate it or even tweak it a little bit or make it fit in with the way that I do things. So it was good. And there have been tribe days in the past where I've said, maybe we'll do it next year. Maybe not. But this time I came away from this saying, yeah, we will do this next year. There was a couple things that I saw that I want to pass on, and I'm just going to explain them because I tried taking pictures of them and it doesn't quite get it. All right. At one point, I know two of the kids were Jordan Buck's kids. He was one of the speakers, did a bang up job, I'm told. And I don't know who the other kid was. Oh yeah, one of our milk customers, and they were little kids, like 3, 4, and there's a rope swing, and somebody had left a picnic table. And the kids were climbing up on the picnic table, and then they were swinging. And then they would jump off, and the thing would swing back, and the next kid would jump on, and they would run back and climb up on the picnic table, and I stopped dead in my tracks and I watched these little kids. Just, they couldn't be happier. The smiles on their faces and the laughter could not be more. And it's just a dumb piece of rope hanging off a tree limb and an old picnic table. That was it. And I stopped and I looked at that for a minute. And I thought, I wish I could make every child in the whole world laugh and smile like that. I wish I could do that. That would be a really nice thing to make happen. But all the kids, I didn't see any long faces on kids. I didn't, not at all. The only tears that I saw were when kids got pushed, hit or bumped out of the way of something. Little kids, I saw a few tears with that. Then I saw a few tears in vehicles that were leaving for the weekend, like Sunday morning. Saw a few. Yeah. But in a way, that made me feel like that's good too, because you wouldn't have those tears if you weren't leaving something that was so important to you. And I heard a lot of good input from parents and a lot of good input from kids. I was quizzing kids. I was saying, so what is the funnest thing that you did while you were here this weekend? And I think the top of the list was we had 3 little kittens. And the kids were passing those kittens around. And then second, I think, was the chicks. We had a bunch of baby chicks that were in the brooder, but then they had their yard set up, so they were out running around in their yard, and the kids would climb in there and sit down and hold baby chicks. Pool. Yeah, pool. Then the kids played hide and seek Saturday night, or kick the can, whatever you want to call it. And that was pretty nice. That was pretty nice to watch them and hear them laughing and running and all the things the kids do. A bunch of sweaty kids, So that was good. That was a high point of my time. And then, getting together with my friends, people that have become my friends over the years, and just spending time with them, because I don't see them enough. I remember thinking at one point, is this just random? Are these just random people that come into my life that I grow to be as fond of as I am? Could that be? I don't know. I even asked somebody, you think this is just random? What's going on here? Because spirits were high the whole time. Very high. Yeah, if you haven't been to it, you should. It's a real good thing. Not really interested in growing it much. Not much, The people that were here will be here next year. And some extras will hear about it. And we did think at one point that it could be a grandiose thing. And I think that was the year when the next year I was thinking, I don't know. It was okay. We probably, when everything was said and done, we probably did better in the cafe and camping fees and all the permits that I require people to purchase to be here. Yes, you have to buy permits. I issue permits. Next year, the permitting will be a lot more strict than it was this year. But I don't think that's what it's all about. I really think it is about community and relationships. I really do. That's where the strength is. Everybody's doing well, healthy, happy, progressing. They're getting better all the time in their homesteading operations. And I'm one of the older people, if not the oldest. And so I can see through a lot of the, the fun and the laughter and stuff and see the bigger picture here. It's a tremendous opportunity to grow as a group of conscientious adults, that are trying to take their family in a positive direction, which is it's not a given in any society. I don't really think that I would venture to say, oh, in today's world, I don't know about that. I grew up in the 60s, and the 60s was way different than the 40s. And my parents, I remember hearing adults say, well, this is a terrible time to bring kids up. We have the threat of nuclear war, and then we have, the Bee Gees and the Beatles and stuff, and they're talking about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and that's terrible. But I don't remember seeing an effort to take us out of that environment. We just were allowed to plunge in, and I don't think it was good. Looking back on it, it's fun. It's hedonistic and fun, but not exactly good. So parents have a choice to make, and it did provide a good weekend for that type of thing. So that's really my after brief on it. All kidding aside about permits and stuff like that, we did have a list that was put in front of me of things that we need to do different next year, like an after brief, which is always productive. And the only thing I saw on there really that makes any sense was the kids that are helping in the kitchen, they got to be 10 or above. And that was the kitchen staff that said that. And I guess I could support that, but then we got to find something for the little kids to do. So I can kind of work on that. That's not hard to do. We can find things for them to do. Yeah. I explored a marketing technique, right? I think that this is something that I should share. Okay, so we had extra milk, right? And normally that extra milk, if the kitchen wasn't tied up, would be turned into cheese and chèvre and, cream and butter and stuff like that. But the kitchen was tied up, so it wasn't going to happen. So we wound up getting some 12-ounce bottles, and then we made chocolate milk and filled the bottles with chocolate milk and put those bottles in the cooler where the kids had easy access to them. And all I asked was, when you take one, make sure you tell the kitchen staff so they can write it down. And so the kids love chocolate milk. Oh, they love it. And so I would walk into a group of kids and I'd say, who wants chocolate milk? Oh, go right into the kitchen. There's plenty. So the kids would toddle in there, and boy, I sold a lot of chocolate milk. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good marketing technique. I will work on that for next year for sure. I will definitely work on that. I got to say, I don't. The numbers haven't been put in front of me. I don't know if Jill's got them yet, but I would say that the kitchen did well. The cafe did well, and I think in years going forward, I think we will add that to the incoming briefing. That please do business in the kitchen. It helps run the operation. We got to pay for the toilets and all the consumables, plates and stuff like that. And plus we got to tighten up the kitchen staff. I mean, we can't expect them to just come and give a 12-hour shift away 2 days and not compensate them. And they did such a good job. Such a good job. I mean, I was still eating off that food last night. Yeah, it was good stuff. That brisket, I finished it up last night. It was so good. Yeah, and the campground did well. This was the first year that the cabin was open, and the Declaric crowd had called it a couple years ago. And so this is the first time anybody stayed in there, and the Declaric crowd stayed in there. And I didn't hear any complaints. We had running water in there, had a counter, had a sink, closed in, screened in, had a door on it. And that's as far as we got, but had a little portable toilet in there so they would be able to use that. And I didn't hear any complaints, so it went pretty good. I had the campground mowed, I think 2 days prior, and it was nice. Had a nice area mowed out that was suitable and nice and flat for setting up tents. Several people brought more than one tent. Oh, well, International is here, so why don't we get it from you? How was the cabin? Was good? Oh, it was great. All right, well, there's a great. I got a great. Awesome. Yeah, I just had the best time. I was well fed, well rested, slept good. I was sleeping in my own bed, though. And getting my cold plunge in. Me and the Stumpos went cold plunging. I missed it the first day. I got up late, 7:30. Nobody woke me up. But I made it up Sunday morning and got in and did my cold plunge with them. Nothing like it. 90 degrees here today. 90 degrees. Yeah. So all in all, there's not much that I would change. I usually have a caution briefing that I give the kids, and I left so much of it out. I just forgot it in the moment. But none of those things happened. There was no gates left open. There was no kids climbing on hay or anything. I maybe picked up 15 things on the last day after everybody was gone and today. 15 things. And I'm talking little things like a balloon that popped, a cup that somebody had left someplace with still something in it, And, the parents really ran herd on their kids well, I thought. I didn't really notice, but I didn't feel as though kids were going crazy. I didn't get bugged much for Jeep rides because I was just Johnny on the spot with a Jeep, I guess. And I guess there was some pretty good pictures that were generated about that. I had asked Amy Kelly, if she would be the point of contact that people could send all their photos to. And if we could get those on however you do it now, so you could look at that would be neat, because let's say 10 years from now and we look at 2025, wouldn't that be fun? Or even 5 years from now and we look at 2025. I would think it would be fun next year if we could look at 2020. That would be really fun and kind of reminisce about, okay, that'd be a fun exercise actually at the campfire. Okay, in 2020, what were we talking about around this campfire? That would be interesting, and I'm sure if we looked at the pictures, we could say, oh yeah, remember that guy that came? Yeah. Okay, so that was it. I want to kind of bring you up to speed on, let me read the comments first here. And Beth, if there's anything that you can throw in there that I should comment on, I would love to. Jill's here. Brian was here. Says everything went great. There's been times when Brian's been here, and I think I'm going to go and sit with him because I want to catch up. And then before I know it, he's gone. But I didn't let that happen this time. Gabe wasn't with us. Gabe, you should have been. You'd have had a good time. There's some people right up your alley. Just me. Got to try Baker's Green Acres refreshing water. Yeah, I don't think I know who you are, just me. I don't think I do. Who are you? Do you live near us? I will certainly share some water with you. Okay, Jill says next year it'll be July 11th, 12th. So save the date now. Yeah, I'll tell you what. This year, 4th of July is a fun weekend, I guess, right? I guess. Somebody just closed my door. And we usually have everybody over on the 4th, and we swim in the pool, and we have a cookout and all that stuff. And then we jump in vehicles and we head over to Falmouth, and we watch the fireworks. And then we get in our vehicles and we drive home. And we're getting home late, and it's kind of ho-hum. When the kids were little, we used to go to the parade, and that was never any fun for me because it's just not fun. You know, you just the same old stuff going by, and they throw candy out, and the kids are just scrambling for candy. And I don't know. I just never liked that. But this year I was thinking, okay, we're going to get the 4th of July behind us, and then it's Tribe Day. And I was really looking forward to it. Keith says, can I get my reservations in for next year? Yes, you can. International is here. Sorry for being late. It's okay, but don't make a habit of it. You had a bed too. It was great. Okay, so the clerics are 10 strong with mom and dad, and 8 of them stayed in the cabin. So I think the older boys had a tent set up, and then they camped out. Yeah. Kathy Pirtle. All right. Oh, man, Kathy, I owe you a return message. I just have not had a moment. And then Kathy stayed in the cabin Sunday night. Yeah. Cool. All right. So that is about it from my end. Is there anything that I'm missing? Kathy, remember, was it me and you were having a conversation, and I turned to Jill and I said, that would be a really good topic for Tuesday night. I think it was you. And I told her the title of it, but I couldn't remember, and I still can't remember. It wasn't what the conversation I had with JD. That was not it. That was not it. So I guess I can't remember what it was. Okay. Well, here's how it went after. We powered down as soon as everybody left, and I took a nap for one, and then came out. It was hot, swam, sat around. I had to get all my stuff done. I had to get all the animals fed and looked after, and then we fired up the campfire again at about 7:30 and stayed out there until I guess about 10:30, just talking and listening to tunes. Kathy's about my age, quite a bit older actually. She's quite a bit older than me, but she's aware of the tunes from that I grew up with, and I was playing Name That Tune with her. We had a good time. Free Stetter, comment for Algos. Comment for Algos. Oh, yeah. Comment for the algorithms. All right. And give us a thumbs up, I guess. I don't know. It's like I'm not really looking for a bunch of likes or anything like this. The people that are part of this group, that's the people I want to be with. If you want to come be with this group, you can. But if you don't, I'm not just looking for the numbers game, you know. You do see Homestead conferences popping up all over the place, and it's a big draw. You can draw a lot of people, and if you rent a campground or a fairground, you can get a lot of people come and give you ticket price, and you can do well on that. But I think that misses the point. I think that's sort of like, okay, if you go to the Indy 500 and you pay whatever it costs to go there, and you observe it, then you go home. But I don't believe that I don't believe you make relationships at the Indy 500 or a professional baseball game or an NFL game or something like that. And that is really not what we're trying to do, you know. And at first it was like, is that what we're trying to do? Are we trying to make this into a farm theme park? Well, the answer to that is absolutely not. Absolutely not. And we know that now. We know that now. So, okay, well, I might as well tell you where we wound up after things were said and done. Yesterday, we had to hook up hay equipment and get out there and cut more hay. So we cut about another 15 acres of hay, and I went out this morning to bale it. And our new hay bind worked really well. The hay was kind of tough, and I had a wrap up, is what it's called, and that's where a lot of hay wraps up around one of the drive posts that goes end to end, and then it stretches the belt out so much that the baler is overstressed, and then the clutch starts to slip. And so I tried freeing it up over in the sun this morning, and then I realized, nope, not going to be able to do it here. Sun's too hot, and I had to go pick my grandkids up at 12:30. So I brought it back over to the house. I worked on it for 15 minutes. I thought it would take me about that long to get it freed up, and nope. Went and got my grandkids, brought them home, had lunch, worked on it till 5. And then we have chicken processing tomorrow. So 5 o'clock, our chicken processing customers start rolling in. So I have to be there to help them unload and then help them fill out the ticket and talk with them for a little bit and send them on their way till 7. And then I got right back on the baler, worked on it for 45 minutes, and then realized, well, actually 53 minutes, and realized that, I got to be in the house for the show tonight. And just before I came in, I had enough of it cut away that I tried it, and sure enough, it cleared itself. So I will be out baling tomorrow after milking and get my last 10 bales in from this cut, and then the 10 bales that I made this morning. So that's 20, and they're big, heavy bales. So we'll add that to what we have. And because we are definitely, even though it's hot summer, 90 degrees, we're thinking, okay, winter's coming. We are going to need hay to feed these cows in the winter. So have to be thinking ahead. There's kind of a weight off everybody with Tribe Day behind us. It's bittersweet. You hate to see everybody go home and you feel kind of empty, but then you say, okay, this is what we're really here for. So let's get back into this and put our heads back down and enjoy ourselves working. Okay, you didn't remember it either. Everybody can give us likes. By the way, you can super chat on here. It used to be where people did that, and all of a sudden they stopped it. I don't remember why. I think it's because I said something about the Wu flu. And so no one ever super chatted ever again. But I've been told that I should tell you, you can. So if you want to buy me a new baler, by all means, $5,000-6,000, and we're good to go. We're good to go. No, that's not what it's about. Okay. I guess that's going to be it. It's only a 50-minute show tonight. Tell you what we could do. There's always opportunity to do new and improved things. So I would entertain if you all wanted certain topics discussed, but not from the point of view of consulting. Consulting is Tribe Plus. If you want consulting, you get into Tribe Plus. It's just a few dollars a month to be in there, but it gives you the opportunity to go to the consulting call, which it's going to be tomorrow night. It's a Zoom call. And the way it works is we have your phone number, and Jill sends out a blast, and you get reminded that here's the information for the Zoom call, and you can go on there and your face shows up. and my face shows up, and then we can converse back and forth. And then when you have questions about your homestead, about how to organize it, how to execute it, all the things that are involved, it's one of the more complex things that a person can do, honestly, is running a farm. It really is. There are no guardrails. There are none that I know of. It's all in your head where your guardrails are. You can go as far as you want to, just like George Washington did on Mount Vernon. He did everything from growing cotton to had a shop where they made it into fabric, another shop where they made it into clothes. They made whiskey. They did commercial fishing on the Potomac. They dried fish, sold it. They had lots and lots of crops. He had slaves, of course, but so we don't have any. Well, maybe we could get into that. I don't know. Do call it the tribe. Ooh, speaking of tribe, we had, let's see, Jordan Buck's wife was about ready to pop. Andy Cross's wife was up around 6 months pregnant. Parker's wife, Lauren, is due in September. My daughter-in-law, Faylene, is due tomorrow. So there's 4 babies, and probably Beth DeCleric. I mean, she denied that she was pregnant, but she probably is. If she isn't, she will be. That's what people used to say about my wife. Are you pregnant again yet? Huh? Yeah. Well, almost like it's a bad thing. No, it is a good thing. Those children will help shape this society. That's a good thing. Have as many as you can, Beth. Have as many as you can. And the rest of you, the same thing. Parker, get it in gear. I mean, you should be lining up for the next one. Plus 2 babies. Yeah, 2 babies were present. Let's see. Well, Beth and Tommy's baby, Frank. And then Amy, she's one of our milk customers. And they just moved here and set up a farmstead up in North Boardman. Kelts, Amy Kelts. She had a baby, a little girl. So they're all tribe members, and we're going to get together a certificate, and we're going to actually certify those babies as anyone can farm papooses, and probably have a onesie made up that says 100% Baker's Green Acres certified papoose, right? So I think that'll be a good thing. And we probably will have some classes on fertility and things of that nature. Might even start up our own religion. Been thinking about it. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm about out of gas right now. I'm going to take me a swim, and I got a little bit of sunlight. I could go out there and make a couple bales, I suppose. Maybe I won't. I'm a little in need of just swimming and maybe sitting by the campfire and eating a brat that my wife said she's going to make for me tonight. So maybe I'll just do that. Get in bed early and get up, hit it again tomorrow. Now is the time to put the pedal to the metal on your farming operations. It really is. It's a free zone out there. There is nothing holding you back. Really nothing holding you back. If you want to point the finger at, the state and Department of Ag and all that stuff, that's a misnomer. They are irrelevant to small farms, really, unless you include them. And there's no reason for you to include them. You just don't include them. If they want to help you with things, you just don't need their help. They're not experts at really anything that we have seen, except getting you into contracts with them that are going to limit what you do. So just don't do that. And Put the pedal to the metal. Build your own tribes and skill up. Get good at something. And then when you're good at it, get good at something else. And when you're good at that, keep going. You want to be the guy or the gal that people say, that guy can do anything. Well, yeah, that's the idea, because those guys survive. It's like we were talking about Survival Island. I always sort of do that when I'm working with a group of people. Like if we all got stuck together and it was just this group of people, how would that work out? You know, and then you start sizing people up a different way. And you think, who will survive here? Or who is going to be a tear on our little tribe here? Who would be a tear? Who would not pull their weight? Who would we eat first is what you want to kind of look at. All right. If you guys see Justin Zilka, tell him I was asking for him. And again, thank him for his help, and all the parents that were here this weekend. We couldn't have done it without you, and I'm so proud to have been able to spend the weekend with you. I had a fantastic time, really fantastic time. And, you know, we didn't have any mishaps. You know, nothing happened that we look back on and say, oh, well, it's too bad that happened, you know, or I wish I didn't say that. I didn't have any of that, and none that I know of, unless you guys can tell me of anything that I didn't catch. No, it was all good. It really was all good. Okay, that's going to be it for tonight. I just like to say good night to all of you. If you get a moment and you can offer up a prayer for Keith Sutton's wife, she's in the hospital, that would be nice. Annie Putnam, best tribe day yet. Yep, definitely was. Definitely was. It was really fun spending time with you. All right, let's call it a night. Remember, get out there, get the pedal to the metal, and remember, anyone can farm. Good night.